visible for all to see. What does it mean to be real? Nobody likes a fake. Even in our airbrush culture, we despise counterfeits and crave authenticity. Everyone wants to be real. But what does it mean to be real? No one really knows, or so it seems. Try an experiment. Listen to people talk about what it means to be a Christian. Do you know what you will hear? Lots of competing answers and plenty of confusion. Perhaps you recall when 2012 presidential hopeful Senator Rick Santorum claimed that President Barack Obama's policies were based on a different theology. Reporters, of course, pounced on this juicy piece of journalistic red meat. Did Senator Santorum, they asked, have the audacity, not of hope, but political incorrectness, to call into question the president's claim to be a Christian? When Senator Santorum was pressed, he gave a politically savvy response. If the president says he's a Christian, he's a Christian. End of story. Next question, please. His answer satisfied reporters and thousands of others following the story. It was as if he said, to profess faith is to possess faith. And what could be less objectionable or more American than that? But one wonders what Jesus thinks of what Santorum said. Is it enough simply to say we're real? Or should we be able to see we're real? And if so, what should we see? Are there marks of authentic faith we should see in our lives or in the lives of others? And what about the watching world? What should they see in the lives of real Christians? The answer to unchristian. Now, more than a decade into the 21st century, the evangelical church faces huge challenges to its ministry and mission. Radical pluralism, aggressive secularism, political polarization, skepticism about religion, revisionist sexual ethics, postmodern conceptions of truth. But perhaps the greatest threat to the church's witness is one of our own making, an image problem. Many outside the church view Christians as unchristian in their attitudes and actions, bigoted, homophobic, hypocritical, materialistic, judgmental, self-serving, overly political. Several years ago, David Kinnaman and Gabe Lyons showed this in their book Unchristian, which landed like a bombshell on a happy-go-lucky evangelicalism, causing many of us to do some serious soul-searching. The evangelical church's image problem doesn't bode well for its future. In fact, the data suggests that evangelical Christianity is declining in North America. Despite the church's best efforts to appeal to the disillusioned, we continue to see alarming trends. Droves of people, especially from younger generations, are leaving the church and don't plan to return. This has driven some to predict the end of evangelicalism. The reasons for this discouraging state of affairs are complex, not cookie-cutter. But we know one thing is certain. When Christians are confused about what it means to be real, the spiritual decline of the church will follow. In our increasingly post-Christian culture, where confusion about what it means to be real abounds, and where distrust of organized religion has reached an all-time high, the church needs to get real. We must clarify for ourselves and for a watching world what it means to live a life of authentic faith. That's why I've written this book, to provide Christians with a clear and compelling description of what it means to be real. My chief claim, although provocative, is simple. Real is something you can see. There is a visible difference between real and not real Christians. It's not enough to say you're real. You should be able to see you're real. Being real is more than regularly attending church, feeling good about God, or accepting Jesus as your Savior. It goes beyond being baptized, receiving communion, reciting the creed, or joining in church membership. As important as these things are, being real runs deeper than these things. Real Christians are new creatures. Physically, they won't look different than others, at least not in the way they dress or keep their hair. Yet real Christians are radically changed. They've experienced